Hello and welcome to what will most likely be my final video for this NEA. Since this is the last video, I will build and run my program now live for the final time, and we can get on with the robustness testing of the program. So first on the list is clicking just about off a button. Now this is important because clicking just about off a button but not actually on the button is by definition not clicking the button. Therefore, the program should not respond to the button being pressed, which in reality isn't not being not pressed. So I hope you understood that quite well. Essentially, if we are clicking just about off a button, the input should not be registered as clicking on the button for obvious reasons. However, there are some exceptions which I did go over also in the post-development testing video. But starting off with the main menu over here, it's incredibly simple. There's 3 buttons. If we click like really close to the button, like as close as I can really get it, it doesn't click on it, right? Doesn't click on the button. Yeah, it doesn't click. But then if we click on the button itself, it does register the input. I have just realized this moment now that I need to put text over here for how it works. Now just to clarify, it is here in the in-game menu. I just need to copy this text across. I forgot to do that. I will do that. I promise. I will show the results of that as a screenshot later on. Now, well, let's see what is next on the list for robustness testing. Spamming rotation of the entire cube. So spamming rotation with the right mouse button isn't quite as quick as doing with WASD. So I'm trying with my mouse button now, and it's like in a limbo of different rotations, but it does rotate, right? It does work. I'll try spamming my arrow keys now, and it does work. Same thing with WASD. It does rotate. So this works. This is quite robust, this element of the program. Next up, you have spamming menu buttons. So, I'm just spamming things here. Everything seems to be working. Ooh. The cube is messed up. Aha. That's not even what I was trying to do. I wasn't even trying to mess the cube up. What on earth has happened here? This might be the first time that such a massive issue has occurred during a robustness testing video. This is live, by the way. I've never seen this happen before. Okay. Let me just see what's next up on the list. Spam turning sides of the cube. That's okay. So that's failed clearly. That's what I've done just now. Spam turning sides of the cube. What's after this? Clicking in places where inputs are not expected. Okay, I'll move on to that later. First, let me just try and reset the state of the cube. So if we press on the pause button, return to main menu, start. Okay, we're back. Okay, that's interesting. That's really interesting. So I've actually never noticed this before. I'm not sure if it was always like this. I don't see why. I don't think I messed anything up since adding rotation. I mean, did adding sound mess something up? I don't think so. That's very unlikely. I'm trying to sort of get a feel for when this happens. Because look, I'm turning it now and I'm actually having trouble trying to get that same issue to repeat. I'm struggling here. I'm really struggling. Okay, I managed to get it again. So, essentially, let me try this again. It seems that if you... Okay, I think I understand. So, in my code, in the auto-rotate code, I believe, obviously the cube doesn't snap into place instantly, right? There's an animation to this, and that is a feature in itself, the fact that there is an animation to it and it's not instant. And that's what may be causing the issue. And I'm not sure what I can do to prevent that, really. I think I'd have to add quite a bit more to the code, which I don't believe I have the time for. But I guess that's for the future. So if the cube is still rotating, if it's still in the process of snapping into place after I let go of the side, and I then initiate another turn of the cube, during the process of snapping into place, that's when this stuff happens. Which is why I could only get it to work when I'm doing it very fast. Yeah. So the user, I doubt the user will ever turn the cube that fast. They wouldn't need to. They might just to mess around. And if they're doing it to mess around, it probably doesn't really matter what the state of the cube is, so they could just, return to main menu and go to start. And again, this isn't how it works, right? It says warning, the cube state will reset if you return to the main menu. So the user should be aware of this. Essentially, this should not be a massive issue, but it's a good thing that I tested it, because genuinely before recording this video, I did not even know this was an issue. I just realized this now. So unfortunately, we're going to have to fail on this, and it's quite unfortunate actually that we have to fail. I was really optimistic, thinking that all the tests would go as planned, but we might have to fail this. So it looks like we've gone through everything. Clicking in the places where inputs are not expected. Okay, so like here, I mean, I'm clicking places where I shouldn't really be clicking anyway, and nothing happens, which makes sense. I mean, here I just click on the cube by accident, so obviously that works. But yeah, clicking around in random places doesn't work. Just going back to clicking just off a button, I realized I didn't do this properly. So if you might remember from my post-development testing video, that the pause button, you can see on the top left, it's actually fading a little bit when I'm very close to pressing it. As you can see, it is fading. So it doesn't, this technically, these buttons, this pause button, also the zooming in and out button, they technically aren't robust in this case. However, I've gone over this before. The user will not have to go to the top left of the screen for any reason other than to press the pause button. Similarly, we're going to the bottom right of the screen. The only reason they'll have to go there is to press these buttons. And they definitely won't, miss between these. So these are decently big. That's not gonna be an issue, right? Where it would be an issue is maybe here between these buttons, but again, these are really big, right? And with the cube here, this would be an issue if, for example, you want to turn the orange side, but you want to turn the orange side, but you accidentally turn the green side. It doesn't happen with the cube. Everything's working great, right? Except for obviously spamming the inputs for turning the size of the cube. And just going back quickly to just by clicking off a button and actually working. If you look at well-known games such as Minecraft, I'll just load this up here real quick as an example. If I go to resume game, I think I was looking at this before. If I open my inventory and I go to this crosshair, you can see my cursor. It doesn't actually click on the, you can see that there's a sort of, it's a very clear like gray box where the inputs really should be registered, but look, I'm outside of that grey box, and when I press, it does press X, right? And these are some intentional things that game creators do, because obviously if the user's going up here, the only reason they would have to take the mouse here is to press the X button, right? There's no other reason. Similarly with this question, what does it even show you? Okay, some random things. Okay, so this is just, I know this is a bit off topic, but this is just to, it is on topic. I just wanted to use this as a sort of example, right? To show that my game isn't completely broken, and this is stuff that happens in usual games as well. And I believe that's it for the robustness testing video. So now that I've completed all the videos, I would like to just, say a quick goodbye to everyone, to all the people watching, to anyone who's marking this. I'd like to say a big thank you to OCR for providing me this incredible opportunity to work on this fantastic project. I've had the time of my life, as you can tell by the explanations and justifications. I've put some images up here to sort of, demonstrate some vital parts of this project that really let it take off. Obviously Newton's second law, that did play a big part of it. Yeah, it is related. It's related. Without this, I mean, I can't imagine what my project would look like, honestly. My mental health, guys, there have been mental health implications, yeah? There have been implications, but we've gone through it very well, I think. British gas again, cost of living crisis. I did have to obviously balance of the time I spent on the game and also the electricity bill. Yeah, the electricity bill is really high nowadays. So I did have to sort of balance these sort of things, especially during the winter. The Labour winter budget was tough, and we did have to get through that. Frustration again, not just of the user, but also the frustration of me that I've had to endure throughout this project. Robustness, we just did that today. And the people responsible for a lot of the Rubik's Cube industry. These are some lovely gentlemen from MoU, professionals, the designers of the cube. I think some record holders here as well. So this is all brilliant stuff, and this is it. This is the final video. Hello, this is future me now, a few minutes later from recording that video. I just realized I forgot to just take a moment to thank all of my stakeholders here. So my stakeholders were, well, some of them was the companies. The companies were some of the stakeholders, but unfortunately I did have a bit of trouble reaching out to them. I mean, like MoU and again, they're based in China, SpeedQ Shop and the Cubicle are based in the US. I've unfortunately not been able to arrange travel to those countries. I think the family funds were a bit too tight for that, so I wasn't able to reach out to them. And then I want to say thank you to all my friends that I did ask. I mean, they provided some brilliant responses. I think I'm really thankful for all the time they put in. I mean, I remember I was saying in school when I sent out the form, and immediately I got, like, within 5 minutes I got several responses. So they did a great job. They did a great job being stakeholders, and I did talk to them regularly about the project, and I was updating them. It is important. This is a game for the people, for the users. This is not a game for me. This is a game for others. I am here to serve with this game. This game is here to serve. So I was making sure to communicate across the progress of my NEA to my stakeholders, and they were very much involved. That they were providing feedback. We had some great conversations about it. There were some features they suggested. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to incorporate, but there were some that I was able to incorporate. I remember one person suggested adding a sound effect to turning the cube, and it was thanks to that person they actually added it. I did not think about adding a sound effect before that. So yes, I would like to just say thank you to my stakeholders, and yeah, back to the present me. My NEA is pretty much complete. What's next? Maintenance issues. Yeah, I'm gonna have to talk about the maintenance issues as well. Other than that, that's it. That is the NEA fully complete. So goodbye everyone. Thank you for watching, and we'll probably never ever see you ever again.